I'm Brett.
I'm Miranda. Wait, why do you laugh? Is my name funny?
No, I just didn't know how else to start, and I hadn't thought about how to start, and I'm like,
well, you always
I'm
wait.
Brett.
You always wait.
Yep.
I thought that was my cue.
Yes, that was your cue to take it away, Miranda, from today's wet and dreary day. It is wet and dreary today.
Lots of rain out there today.
Yep, we got it coming for I don't know how long, but it's coming down right now.
Yeah, and during arrival to church time, wow, there was a lot of brave people out today. A lot. It was pouring rain.
Yeah, I didn't tell you, my foot was soaked when I got out of the car because there was a river between me and the church, and there was no way. It was so wide.
Oh no.
So I had to, and it didn't part for me like Jordan River or anything, so I had to go right through it, slosh, slosh, slosh.
But he was kind enough to drive us around to the front side of the church and drop me and Aspen off.
Yeah, although I was a little reluctant. You know, I just pulled you up to the curb. Later, I saw somebody actually pulled in underneath they drove up on the thing.
But actually, you know, where you picked us up from down
That's
in the
where
back,
I should have done it.
Definitely the best place. So.
Yeah, I didn't think of that because we never go there.
No.
We never go there. But
no.
Anyway, it's a rainy day here, and it was quite the deluge. It's still coming down, and no hail for us. There's hail around us. I checked the weather. Marble size hail. Some up in Dallas, but it just kind of missed us. So that's good.
Generally tends to.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, did you see the festival was canceled today?
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, because they were supposed to get rain like we're getting that here.
So blue bonnets are a big deal, at least up here in North Texas. I don't know if it's all over Texas.
All over Texas.
Yeah. And they have trails that you walk, trails that you drive, and you see blue bonnets everywhere, the flower. And there's a town here called Ennis, and they have a bluebonnet festival. They shut the roads down in the downtown historic place, and they have shops and little booths and entertainment and food, very expensive, overly priced food. And we went last year, and we walked around a bit and did some stuff, and we went this year, and I was telling Miranda we paid $15 to get into a festival so we could eat overpriced barbecue for $50 and then leave. We didn't even really do anything.
Yeah.
And that was it. We paid $15 to pay for overpriced food. It was not bad. It wasn't great. For $45, but you think I should be getting really amazing food. It wasn't bad.
It was the ambiance.
Yeah. And it was large portions. Like Aspen threw away all of her nachos, except she didn't. She actually ate some, but it looked like she didn't eat anything. But they were so big that after she ate and ate and ate, it still looked like there was a bunch left. And my burger, I couldn't finish my burger. It was too big. I mean, so the portions were the right size. But I mean, the burger was okay. I don't know. How were the nachos? Yeah, they were like, not bad, but not great. Fries were good, but that was it. Anyway, so we went to Ennis to the Blue Bonnet Festival yesterday, which was a good thing because it got canceled today, and they're holding off on tomorrow to see if it's going to happen or not. Are they going to have it tomorrow? Or is it supposed to rain tomorrow?
No, it's not supposed to rain here, actually, though they did have rain forecasted for last I checked, which is why I wanted to go yesterday. And yesterday was just going to be a better day in general, and I was I checked the weather at least a week in advance, and it was supposed to be really pouring down rain yesterday. So I was like, all right, God, we'd really like to go on that day. So checked the weather again the next day, and there was no more rain forecasted, and it stayed that way, so I was very happy for that, because Friday was just a good day to go.
It was overcast, but not too hot, not too cold, and it was nice. And so we didn't get really any pictures of the festival or anything, but for those who don't know, I thought I'd show, here's the video from last year when we went down to Ennis. and we went to the festival, saw some bluebonnets, and went to the train museum they have there, and that was fun. That was a lot of really entertaining stuff they had in that little train thing. But anyway, here's the video from last year. So that was fun. That was fun. I really like trains, and that was a fun little museum they had there. We should have done that again, but I didn't think about it because that was just up from the festival, wasn't it? The train museum was just a couple streets up from the festival.
Probably, yeah.
But we did stumble across something we hadn't seen before, and it's a little odd, I guess, for some people, but. One of the things I like to do is take pictures of cemetery angels. So like for a while, I was really on a bend of just, stopping at every cemetery I could. Even when I was driving across the country, back before I even knew you, I was going back from California stuff. I would go off-road to, the cemetery, and I would see how many angels I could find. And that was interesting. And I haven't done it like that for a long time, but sometimes we'll see a cemetery, and actually you and Aspen more than me now. Oh, look, a cemetery, because you guys noticed this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aspen did, I think, first.
And said, oh, look, a cemetery, we should go. So we turned around, and most of the time it's nothing, but this one actually had some interesting angels in it. It's the Myrtle. I want to say Myrtle Beach Cemetery, but it's not Myrtle Beach, but Myrtle Cemetery in Ennis. And I'm assuming Aspen is going through the pictures now. And it was an old cemetery too. Like they had some really old burial sites, and it was kind of fun. And I guess Aspen can let me know when we've gone through them. That was just some of the ones I have already worked on, but they were interesting. One was that was the Jewish family, the one.
Yeah.
And a couple of them had people from the 1800s and.
Yeah, the Jewish one was from the 1800s as well. It was a very pretty angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I like to do is to take angel pictures, and then I put these. Poems, famous poems or whatever from, all kinds of, people from Keats to C.S. Lewis to anybody, and I put the, poems or sayings with the poster, with that picture, and make posters out of them. And I actually did a book once. I did what did I call it? Sentinels of Stone, something like that. And it's all my best pictures from way back then. I should make another one. I've got so many more since I did that one. But yeah, and Aspen likes to take pictures too. But anyway, we're gonna look at some pictures. Aspen took her banquet dress, and we went to it's not really a park, but a viewing area, they call it. Out there, and it's one of the places on one of the trails. So see the bluebonnets, but sadly there were very little bluebonnets when we got there.
Yes, and I even checked, and they said, "Oh, come on, this week is going to be our highlight."
Yes.
Still got plenty of bluebonnets out here, but no. The best part about the bluebonnets is when they're all in bloom, is the fragrance that just permeates the air.
Mm-hmm.
We caught a slight whiff of it, but it was more like old flowers than yeah. But
this
it
one
was still fun.
nice, yeah. Like, well, are you showing your picture? The flowers that were there, I don't know what they were.
I don't know what those little pink things are either.
But they were
really
pink,
pretty,
and they went great with Aspen's dress, and that worked out really well. And so we took some pictures, and there was one. There's one in there, I think, or two that had some of the blue bonnets, and the other one called the red ones, or
Indian paintbrushes.
Indian paintbrushes. Yeah, they were named that before there was political correctness. Now we call them Native American paintbrushes. But yes.
Wow, that tree was really blowing over there.
We get some strong wind.
Yes, it was like, whew, whew.
Mm. So, but that was fun. Yeah, we had Aspen out there in the flower. Other people do that too. There were people there taking pictures, and before I've seen people doing the same thing we did. They had their daughter with dresses, I guess prom dress, and out there taking pictures. And of course, the last one was Aspen doing a dance move by the lake just before she fell in. We had to fish her out.
No. No, that's not good.
Yeah. So I think that's what I had. When were we going to show Aspen's picture? Is that later in the broadcast? Or is it okay? Yeah. Anyway, so tell us, Miranda, what are we talking about today? Is it going to be something interesting?
Oh, are we starting with that rather than the videos?
Well, I was going to just give them the general topic and then show the video.
Oh, okay. Well, we're talking about half-truths, basically.
Half-truths.
Yeah, like you only see part of it, and you don't see the rest of it, and so you're led to believe something that's not true. Even though what you saw was true.
Yeah.
But
there's more to it.
Yeah, it takes on a whole different tone because you don't know the whole thing.
And that reminded me of a series of commercials I'd seen a while back, and I got on YouTube and found them, and I thought we'd show them to you because they're funny, but they also kind of go along with what we're talking about today. So here's some commercials from a company called AmeriQuest. You may have seen these back in the day, but if not, enjoy.
Hello. Well, how much are they asking?
Well, that's a lot of money for a deck.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you're getting robbed. Did you hear me? You're getting robbed. Ow! Stop!
Stop! AmeriQuest, an open-minded, equal opportunity lender.
Hey, kid. You got to get down. Come on.
Patient has a fractured fibula, given him a mild sedative. So I could be able to go on tomorrow.
Daddy's gonna be so excited. Baby.
That killed him.
Paging Dr. Palmer, Dr. Barbara Palmer. Dial 452.
Look at the cute dog.
I don't hate your mother. Morning, Bev.
So there you go. That's kind of funny, and I'm kind of talking about making judgments when you don't know the whole story, or going by things when you only know half the picture, half the story, and yeah. So like, we're gonna talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aspen went to a Mexican, she was in Spanish too, and they went to it was El Mancho Rolo El Camino.
No, Brett never took a Spanish class. You will have to pardon him.
Ice cream.
They went to their teacher in their Spanish 2 class planned a field trip to a Mexican ice cream shop. And of course they had a bunch of other things as well, like elote and popsicles and churros with pudding in them. I never heard of that, but she enjoyed those so much she got a second order of those. No?
No, I got a second order later. So I got elote and lazo, and then with that order I also got fresas con crema, and then I ate that, and then I went back and I bought my churros, and then they gave my churros to somebody else, and I had to go back and be like, what happened to my churros?
Okay, so the whole thing is, she wouldn't have been able to buy anything because she forgot her money. But lucky for her, we live just a mile down the road, if that. And so she texted, and I got some cash together, and I took her to the school. Well, when I got out of the car, I got inside. Well, first of all, you can't get inside the school because it's locked. So fortunately, one of the teachers saw me right off. His name was Coker.
But you couldn't get into the school because it was locked?
Yeah.
Neither can I. If anyone's watching, I've been teaching for 2 years. I still can't get into the school.
Okay, so Coker lets me in, and he says, do you need any help? And I said, no, I'm fine, because I thought I had my phone, and of course I was just going to text Aspen and tell her to come meet me out there. Well, turns out I didn't have my phone, and Coker had already gone into the office, which was right there, and I'm kind of standing there, and another teacher just so happens to come along right away, and she says, oh, do you need any help? And I said, yeah, I was just looking for Aspen. And she's like, oh, she's probably down in chapel with the other kids. She says, do you want me to go let her know that you're here? I said, yeah, sure, that'd be fine. I said, I just have this money I need to give to her for her Spanish class going on a field trip today. She's like, oh, she says, I'm her Spanish class teacher. I said, oh, here you go. Go ahead and take the money, okay, and give it to her. And she's like, oh, okay.
Oh, and did you ever get the money? We never asked that question.
Yes, because she bought all the
good.
stuff, right? Yeah. So
pocket the money. Oh, no, your mom never came by. I don't know what you're talking about.
So that teacher walked off, and it was just one of those split moment, times where at that moment Coker came out of the office, and I'm standing there pretty well right where he had left me, and he's like, oh, do you need some help? I said, no, I was just looking for Aspen, and I turned and I walked out the door. And as I'm walking out, I'm thinking,
you blew him off.
I'm thinking,
you totally blew Coker off.
I'm thinking, he has no idea. It looks like,
no, I'm looking for Aspen. You can't help me.
And then I just walked out.
Oh my gosh.
And so yeah, I just thought, he didn't see everything that happened.
Did you look back at his expression?
No.
Was he like?
No, I just walked out as I'm thinking that.
Yeah, he's supposed to. What's wrong with me?
Yeah. Well, sometimes explanations are just. I decided just to go. Yeah.
Great. Now they're gonna. Oh, look, there's Brett. He's married to that rude woman.
Well, anyways, he was a very, very polite.
Yeah.
Yes, and very helpful. Yes, as was the other
See how
teacher.
polite and helpful he is next time.
Yeah.
Oh, do you need help? Too bad. Find someone else.
Yeah. So today, when I was cleaning off the desk, I know you can't see the desk that we're sitting at, but we're sitting at a rather large desk here. And I was cleaning it up so we could sit here and put the cameras up and everything. And I asked Aspen what she wanted done with this picture right here. That's her. She painted this a couple days ago this last week with some friends. They had a little painting party, spur of the moment, I guess, after school one day. And they each painted a picture. And this here was some dolphins and a cat, which actually looks like a
squirrel.
No, it looks like
squirrel.
It looks like an otter.
Oh, I thought it was a squirrel with a helmet.
They're not dolphins.
They're not
Okay,
dolphins.
wait, they're porpoises.
They're not porpoises either. Oh my goodness.
They're they're the goldfish.
A parent so proud of her child's work.
Big goldfish.
They're koi.
It's best if you stop trying.
Koi, very large goldfish.
Very large goldfish. Actually, goldfish is not koi, goldfish, same thing.
Yeah, just one's bigger.
Yeah,
It's
one's
just-
bigger than
yeah.
the other. But I thought it was a squirrel with a helmet. That's what I thought. Initially, I thought it was a squirrel in space with two space alien something swimming because of the stars. I thought that was
That's
a
true, it
space
does have
picture.
stars, yeah.
But no, it turns out it's not a squirrel in a helmet.
Okay.
It's something else. But something you don't know.
Huh.
Where did she get the canvas?
No, I don't know. I was going to ask, but where did she get the canvas from?
Well, I stopped. I was rewarding the video class for a little bit of help they gave me last week, and because they're going to be moving stuff for me this next week, so I was just going to get them a treat. And I stopped at the dollar store, and everybody got candy and soda except Aspen and Hadassah, and they got the canvas things to do the artwork. I just thought that was pretty cool. Instead of getting a Snickers, they got artwork.
Well, and they did a good job too.
Yes, the space squirrel is one of my favorites.
Yeah, so anyways, I asked her as I'm cleaning it off, what do you want me to do with this? Put it in your room or what? And she's like, oh, why don't you use it for salt? And I thought, how can I use that for salt? So it does actually introduce our story very well, because today we're talking about Job. And well, as parents, we like to brag about our kids and tell other people the good things they do and everything. And so just like I'm here showing you how Aspen's picture is, so too one day the sons of man and Satan showed up in heaven. And God says to Satan, he's like, hey, have you noticed my servant Job? He is such a righteous, upright man. And I thought, there you go. There's the analogy right there. God was very pleased with his servant Job. And then, of course, Satan's like, well, you know what? That's only because you're so nice to him. All this stuff you've given him, it's no wonder. But you know what? You take away his stuff, and he will curse you. And God's like, well, all right, you know what? You can go ahead and do that. Just don't touch him personally. And so, were you going to add to that? No. Okay. So basically, Job 1, verses 2 and 3, he had 7 sons, 3 daughters. He had 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and very many servants. So and it says he was the greatest man, greatest of all the men in the east. And that's a lot of stuff. But then in one day, probably within the space of hours, it sounds like, right? Mm-hmm. They're all gone. All these servants come running up to him and telling him that, oh, all the donkeys are gone. Oh, all the servants are gone. And I'm the only one that escaped. And then someone says, oh, and all your kids are gone, all in one fell swoop, right? And Job, though, is very interesting what he said, because he did not curse God. He said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. It seems really unusual to add that last part there, right? Blessed be the name of the Lord, even when all of this had been taken from him. So through all this, Job did not sin, nor did he blame God. And so when all of Job's stuff up and disappears, right, Job doesn't see just that. He doesn't see the whole picture, of course, right? I mean, he can't. Only God can see the whole picture. But he does see more than just what he can physically see. So Job knew something that a lot of us don't know, that even in the taking away, that we receive more. And because clearly he had a pretty awesome relationship with God.
He did question God.
Yes. Well, yes, in the whole process, he did.
He didn't blame God. So there was, and when his friends were there, and his wife and his friends, they were all like, curse God and die. What did you do? Come on, got it in, and they would all push him that way, but he didn't. He, said what we told him that this, God can give, God can take, and I came with nothing, I can leave with nothing, whatever it is, it's God doing it, it's his will. And it was, but when he was alone, after he left and everything, it was when he was alone, then he did, he's human, so he did ask, question, go, why me? Why is this happening to me? Mm-hmm. And God responds and everything in the story. I just thought it was interesting in front of everybody. He didn't, give in to despair. In fact, he said what you said. But then it was okay in his aloneness with God. It kind of showed his humanity of being able to say, God, why? And God coming in and, and God, reasoning with him and
Yeah, and his friends eventually said, well, surely there's something you've done wrong for all of this really bad stuff to happen to you. Yeah. But he was kind of like, if I recall correctly, he was like, no, I haven't. And in the end, of course, God came along at the very end there, and he said, Job was right. Mm-hmm. And he says to Job's friends that had come, you guys are wrong. You need to each go get 7 bulls, I think, and bring them here. And offer them as a sacrifice, mm-hmm. and have Job pray for you. And they did that. Mm-hmm. I can imagine, God shows up like that. Yeah. So basically, I was all prepared for you to ask this question, Brett, that what does that mean? That even in the taking away, we receive more.
Oh.
But you
whatever
didn't ask me.
Does that mean, Miranda? I don't understand.
Okay, well, would you like to explain it to us?
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so Job is really humble, right? He says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I'm going to return there. And he recognizes that he has nothing, he has absolutely nothing, without the power of God. And so it is a place of turning to God despite the trouble. We still trust God, he still trusted God. And see, Satan told God that if he took all of Job's stuff away, Job would curse him. But Job served God, only because God was generous to him. Basically, when God allowed Satan to do that, and then touch him physically as well with boils, Job does not curse God. He trusts God and stays, and that is something that deepens a relationship, because we found out even more how God has our best interests in mind. And also he's like Abraham, and he doesn't put his faith in stuff, but in God. And when he had all this stuff, he didn't say, well, look how cool I am, right? Because he's humble. He knows that this comes from God. It wasn't something he did of his own. And he knows that with or without all this stuff, that God is his only hope of anything. And so basically the same thing happened to Joseph. His freedom, his family, his country, and his colorful robe that his father had made for him and given to him as a gift was taken from him. But despite all that he could see being taken from him, he chose to have faith in God, who can see the whole picture. And when Joseph sees his brothers again, and they're super worried about this, right? Because of how they treated him. And now Joseph is the one with all the power. And they know how they treated Joseph when they had the power. So they're like, oh boy, we are in trouble now. But he says in Genesis 50, verse 20, you intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. And so there is the taking away and yet receiving so much more in the end anyways. And so Joseph too arrives at the point where he knows that the Lord gives and the Lord takes away, but even in the taking that we end up with more. So basically, we live out half-truths when we can't understand the whole truth, because we aren't seeing it, because we only give half of ourselves to a whole life encompassing God. And Joseph and Abraham, of course, and Job were these men who hadn't given half. They had given everything. And the problem is that we cannot become whole people when we live out half-truth. It's like when you watched all those, when we watched the videos of the commercials and such, it just, you don't know. Like, it's right there where you can't see all of it. And same with Coker. He didn't know. He didn't know that I'd technically found Aspen in a sense, and she got what she needed, and I'd taken care of what I needed to take care of and such. But he didn't know that because he didn't see it.
Yay. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
There you have it.
Thoughts by Miranda about halfway.
Yeah, it really does make a difference whether or not we commit 100% to God.
Well,
or
just
just
everything in life.
Yeah, that's true. Or just part way.
Yeah, lots of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. Well, for once, I don't really have much to add. You kind of summed it up.
Oh, well, you let us off valiantly.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, I guess we never know next week what it holds. Depends on what kind of weather we have, if we can get out and do something else and go somewhere. And
that's true, but if it's raining again, like they say it's going to rain again, then we get to stay here and teach Sabbath school.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, next week is Laodicea.
That'd be a fun one. So I'm really kind of hoping for rain.
Yeah, we can do that one, and because there are Sabbath schools covering the churches, and I asked the question about what time period did the church in Sardis represent. I don't think they were going to talk about that. He was just moving on to the next one.
Well, yeah, he was trying to get the two churches in, so he was trying not to probably take up that time. Yeah.
But talk about half effort, that would be Laodicea.
It's true.
See?
So here we go. Well, we're all set to get started on Laodicea.
There you go. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for joining us, and I think I'm smelling kitties. Our other cat just walked by. Talk about halfway doing things. Our one older, larger kitty goes to the bed and just halfway looks up at it and hopes someone comes and lifts her up into the bed.
She's arrived to an age where the bed that is fairly high up was getting to be a little harder for her. Yes. So I started lifting her into bed.
And now she expects
it. Just expects it, yes. But she's older. And we love her.
We love her, except I'm doing something crucially, vitally important, and all I hear is, Brett, Kitty needs her elevator ride, and I have to drop everything and go lift a very unthankful cat.
Oh, she's thankful.
Didn't tell me she's thankful. Aspen, she goes right into her arms. Me, she walks under the bed. Come get me. But we love our cats. Anyway, so all right. Well, thanks for joining us, and who knows, next week we may be talking about Laodicea. If we do Sabbath school, we'll do it for Salt. All right. Have an awesome rest of your Sabbath, an awesome